what I thought I'd talk about today is excuse-making momentum versus action-taking momentum. And I was actually talking with my cameraman today about that. And basically the idea is that human beings tend to go into different spirals of taking action or making excuses, depending on their beliefs. So what does that mean? Well, for example, have you ever gone out and, with the intention to socialize, and what's happened is you found yourself going into excuse-making momentum? Let me give you a story from my past to illustrate what I'm talking about. So back in the day when I used to go out and socialize all the time, I'd go out to the club, and here's an example of what would happen to me when I'd get stuck in excuse-making momentum. So I would get to the club, even before I would get to the club, I would be walking down the street, and instead of shaking hands with people and saying hi and doing high fives, I would basically just, make the excuse of like, oh, I'm not at the club yet, so I'm not going to socialize yet, right? And then what would happen is I would get to the club, I'd be waiting in line, and there'd be people in front of me and people behind me, but I wouldn't want to socialize with them because I'd be like, well, I'm not in the club yet. Another excuse. And then I'd get in the club finally, and what's the first thing I would do? I would go, well, maybe I should go and use the bathroom. So I'd go and use the bathroom. Excuse number 3, still haven't talked to anybody. Then we have, I get out of the bathroom and I'd be like, well, maybe I should get a drink of water, That seems like a good thing to do. So I'd try to find the water. Excuse number 4, still haven't talked to anybody. Then from there, I'd be like, well, maybe I should look around the club and try to figure out what this club is all about. Get the layout of it, so I feel more comfortable with the club. And so I start walking aimlessly around the club. Still haven't talked to anybody. 5 excuses. Now I'm going down the downward spiral of shit, basically. And I'm basically just not doing anything. I'm making excuses as opposed to taking action. Okay, so now let's talk about a different momentum spiral, this one going upwards, and let's see how that can actually change your life. So imagine that you go out to the club, and imagine as you're walking towards the club, you're high-fiving people. You're going, hey, what up? You're high-fiving people, you're saying hi. And then let's say, so you're taking action, right? Then let's say you get to the club, you're waiting in line. There's people behind you, people in front of you. And you go, hey, what up, man? How are you doing? Is this your first time here? Have you ever been to this club? Where are you from? You're taking action. You get in a little conversation. Oh, cool, you're from Texas? That's awesome. I have friends from Texas. Blah, 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 right? You're taking action. Then nice to meet you, bro. Then you get in the club. What do you do next? You approach the first group of people you see. Hey, you guys enjoying yourself? How long you guys been here? Where are you guys from? Are you guys enjoying the club? Is this your first time here? Oh, cool. Where are you from? Texas? Awesome. I just met somebody from Texas. You should meet him, right? And then you introduce those people. Now you have a little group going. You've merged some sets. You're taking action. At first, it was just little high fives. But then you build on that with just a couple little quick maybe introductions. Hey, I like your shoes. A little compliment opener, And then from there, when you get into the club, you're already in the momentum of taking action. So it's easier to go to the next level and be like, oh, hey, really quick, I noticed that you have kind of a funny look on your face. You can take it to the next level where you're actually creating action-taking momentum. Why is this important? How can you apply this to your life? Well, the reason this is important is because it reinforces itself, right? So let's take a look at what happens, right? People that have beliefs end up taking actions based on those beliefs. And then guess what? They get results based on those actions. And those results reinforce the beliefs. It's crazy, right? So my cameraman's smiling off camera because we were literally just talking about this. Okay, so let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about, right? Let's say that you want to start a business, but you're not technically savvy. You're not sure about how to use computers and shit like that. So you're like, okay, let's say there's 2 people. One person, okay, they both don't know how to start a business online, but they have 2 different beliefs. One person has the belief of oh yeah, I could probably figure that out. The other person has the belief of I don't really know about technology and how all that works. So I don't really know how to do that. Okay, so the person that has a positive belief of I could probably figure this out, what do? They take action and they try to figure it out. They Google it, right? We have Google. I mean, Jesus Christ. You literally have a search engine that has everything in the world that you could ever need on Google. You could just Google it, right? So they spend 20 minutes Googling how to start a business online. They read the first 10 articles on the first page and they figure out how to do it. Then they take action based on that and they get a result. What's the result? They figured out how to start a business online. And then what happens? It reinforces the original belief of, yeah, I can figure it out. They're like, oh, cool, I figured it out. I know I could figure it out right from the start. I was correct. But guess what? The second person, the person that was like, yo, I probably can't figure this out, what kind of actions did they take based on their belief? The actions they take are, well, they make excuses. The belief is that I don't think I can figure this out. I'm not a tech-savvy person. So the action they take is they don't try to figure it out. The result they get is that they aren't able to build a business. And then what does that reinforce? Their failure reinforces the original belief that they're not a tech-savvy person and they can't figure it out. So as you can see from what I've just very kind of crazily broken down to you, right, in my special way, is that if you want to create change in your life, like drastic, incredible change, what do you need to do? You need to change the original belief that you have. So whenever you find yourself making an excuse, let's say I do this all the time. I'm not perfect. I still struggle with this. Like, let's say that I'm making an excuse in terms of like, I don't want to work on my business today because, somebody else is in town. Like my friend is in town, right? And I don't want to work on my business because she's only in town for a few days and I want to spend time with her, right? Well, that actually happened this morning. So this morning I woke up and I was about to start working on my business and I was like, oh, you know what? My friend is in town. Maybe I should spend more time with her. But then I was like, wait, that's a fucking excuse. I caught myself. So the next time that and of course we're still spending time, obviously we're in the hot tub, we're out here, we're chilling, things are good. But at first I did the thing that I needed to do for that day, which was work on my business. So I didn't let this excuse ruin my productivity for today, and I still got to enjoy my time with her in the evening. As you can see, we're chilling in the hot tub. Although we're creating a video, so you could argue maybe she isn't enjoying her time because she's holding the camera. I hope she's enjoying her time. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. The point is that, so let's say that you catch yourself making an excuse. What can you do? Well, here's an actionable step that you can write down right now and you can take it away from this video. So what you can do is you can write down 3 solutions to your excuse. So for example, let's say that you are going back to school and you're like, well, I have some gaps in my education, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure out these courses. They seem really difficult. As soon as you catch yourself doing that, realize that it's an excuse and then think, what are 3 different ways that I can figure this out? What are 3 different solutions? And actually write them on a piece of paper. So for example, in the case of like, I don't know if I can figure out these college classes because I have gaps in my education. Well, 3 possible solutions could be: number 1, get a tutor. Number 2, I don't know, go to Google and figure out the gaps in your knowledge. Number 3, create a study group where you have people that you're accountable to, that are helping to help you figure it out, and you're helping them. Number 4, go to the library and get books for free on the topics that you have holes in your education in. I'm not asking you to pay for anything. This is all free. You see how if you become resourceful and you stop believing your own bullshit ass excuses and you just fucking take action, your life can change. Because like Tony Robbins said, the success of a business is 80% based on the psychology of the business owner. This is true for everything, not just business. Hey, got some homies coming into the to the hot tub here. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. Here's what I want you to do. The next time you see yourself making an excuse, I want you to take 3 different solutions to your kind of excuse and realize that it's fucking bullshit and take action. Because what you'll realize is that when you change your belief to a belief of, you know what, I can figure this out, what'll end up happening is you'll take action, you'll get the result, and that'll reinforce your new good belief that you can actually figure it out. Anyway, this is Ilya. I'm in the hot tub here. I'm signing out. Wish you the best. Peace.